Our coverage from Orlando starts now.
Another spectacular sun-drenched day at the USTA National Campus in Lake Nona, where today we continue to pursue history. We are down to 4 players in the men's and women's singles competition here in the NCAA Division I Tennis Championships. History is on the line as we get closer and closer to determining our champions. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sam Gore, honored to be alongside immediate past president of the USTA, Katrina Adams. And Katrina, you were part of the creation of this facility. These type of events were a dream at one point, but they've come to fruition in a big way these couple of weeks.
Well, it's definitely a dream come true, and to see how this tournament has evolved, and we're down to the final weekend, the USTA and the UCF staff have done a tremendous job to get us here.
Well, it's such a prestigious event. We're down to 4, but the #1 seeds are still left. Nuno Borges on the men's side, he has been pretty unflappable these 2 weeks.
Well, these top seeds are proven to be the best players in the country, and they're showing it here with their performances. Borges came up against his biggest task against Brandon Holt yesterday. A huge challenge for him, but he came through in straight sets.
Holt, the #5 seed, performing well, but Borges just too solid. And here's a look at the draw. So Borges is in as the #1 seed. Today he faces the #3 seed, the Horned Frog, Alex Rybakov, who beat his good friend William Blumberg yesterday of North Carolina. Paul Jubb, the South Carolina Gamecock, the #4 seed. He'll face Kovacevic, who took out Sam Riffice. Riffice, remember, had beaten the #2 seed earlier in the week. Now on the women's side, the #1 seed has struggled at times, but she still keeps winning.
Well, her biggest battle was a 3-set tiebreaker in the quarterfinals. It was interesting to see how she would come back against Kawhi, but the #1 seed proved that she was fit and she was strong, and she came through in straight sets.
Estela Soriba, she has won more matches than any other player in the country this year. And today she will meet the only freshman playing today. Cameron Mora, the University of North Carolina, has made her way through the draw to appear in the semifinals. Kelly Chen of Duke, another good tournament for the Blue Devils. She'll take on the #2 seed, Katarina Jokic. The third member of our team is Hannah Ostapchuk, and let's get a preview from Hannah Ostapchuk. Hannah.
Hey Sam, one thing we have to talk about is how unbelievably blessed we've been with the weather right here in Orlando. It's been beautiful, and there hasn't been any rain in sight. You guys know I'm from South Florida, so I can attest to this. It's normally unheard of for there not to be any afternoon thunderstorms, especially at this point in the year. So tomorrow will be our 10th straight day with no rain in sight, and you know we love to keep it that way. One thing that is playing a factor on how these players are performing though is this heat. It's about to be 90 degrees today, and we're expecting for it to be tough for these players. Yesterday, after some of these guys performed in individuals earlier in the day, they had to go into doubles, and some of them didn't make it happen. On the women's side, it was Katarina Jokic and Cameron Mora who both lost in doubles play, and on the men's side, it was Nuno Borges who didn't make it in doubles as well. But like I said, it's about 90 degrees today, so we're hoping that this weather doesn't play into how these guys perform today.
Yeah, with this much on the line, I think a lot of the weather conditions will be an afterthought as we are set to determine who is going to the championship tomorrow on the men's side and the women's side. The semifinals are about to begin. We'll start with Borges taking on Rybakov in just a moment. Well, it's been a spectacular championship here at the USTA National Campus, which has proven to be an excellent home site. A lot of amenities here at this facility just because they do tennis all the time. The racket stringing, the teams were so thrilled that it's only $10 a racket to have the racketry strung, and a lot of merchandise to be had around the grounds as well. It has been a spectacular host site. That's the entrance to the college facility. There's a cooling station where fans can kind of chill out when it gets a little too hot. And I think in terms of expectations, they have been exceeded. Here's a look at our order of play for the semifinals today. Borges will meet Rybakov. Jubb will take on Kovacevic. Both those matches will be playing at the same time, one on court 1, one on court 3, and then we'll transition to the women's semis. Estela Somariba will face Tar Heel Cameron Mora, and then Duke Blue Devil Kelly Chen will take on Georgia Bulldog Jokic. So we are getting set to begin coverage of the semifinals of the Division I Men's Singles Championship.
Well, it is a beautiful day, Sam, and these players, this is what they train for. So this heat is really not going to be a factor for them, particularly those that have made it to the semifinals. They have tested themselves throughout this week. But I'm really excited to watch Borges. I think Borges has a great game. He's so smooth. He moves around the court effortlessly. And, you know, Rybakov is a tough opponent. He's a lefty. He's got a big serve, huge forehand, and likes to finish at the net. But I think the diversity and the variety of Borges is going to give Rybakov some trouble today.
As Hannah touched on, it's warm today. Officially 88 degrees at the moment. Humidity at 46%, but certainly for Borges and Rybakov, these are two young men that are used to these type of weather conditions, so I don't think weather will be a factor at all for these. And both of them train so hard in this type of heat. I think we're in for a great match. It's going to be a real contrast in styles here. The leftiness of Borges, or excuse me, of Rybakov against Borges. We have lines people today, so you'll see a few extra people out on the court. It's the first time we've had the linesman. Nuno Borges is the 3-time SEC Player of the Year, also the SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year. He's a champion on and off the court. This is his 3rd straight appearance in the NCAA semifinals. First man to do that since Virginia's Somdev Devarman, who of course has had a pretty good professional career. Borges, the first Mississippi State Bulldog in that program's history to make the singles semis, and he's now done it 3 straight years. He'll be turning professional after his collegiate career. He's from Portugal.
Well, I like the way Borges is already pumping himself up early in this match. So important to emotionally get out in front of your opponent, as well as get out in front of the score.
That was going to be one of the big challenges for him today. Matt Roberts, his coach, told me, was just making sure that he never let up. He said he felt like yesterday against Brandon Holt, he relaxed a little bit a couple of times, and Holt's such a good player, you can't relax at all. So his focus as a coach is to keep Borges fired up the whole match. Everyone today knows the history that's on the line. So I don't think you're going to see any shortage of intensity. Borges and Rybakov have completed a game, and in the midst of the first game on court 3, Paul Jubb of South Carolina against Kovacevic will be bouncing back and forth between the two this afternoon. Then we'll have the women's semis coming up.
Lots of great tennis in store here today in Orlando.
Rybakov, a lefty, he's the co-Big 12 Player of the Year this year, along with Christian Sixgard of Texas. Rybakov is a Floridian, grew up in Coral Springs, Florida, and he actually used to room with his quarterfinal opponent yesterday at junior events, William Blumberg, player that he beat to get here. These two have met 3 times this year. Rybakov took the first meeting. It was in Arizona back in January at a tournament. And then they had a match go unfinished at the National Team Indoor Championship. But most recently, Borges beat Rybakov in the round of 16 Super Regional that TCU upset Mississippi State in. Borges won at #1 singles, but the Horned Frogs upset the Bulldogs to come here in the team competition.
Rybakov is so aggressive off the ground. Sweeping forehand. It's a heavy topspin shot, so it really has the ability to push his opponents off the baseline. It will be tough to do so against Borges today, as Borges really stands his ground and can really take the power well. But I'd like to see Rybakov use his lefty serve to his advantage a little bit more. He's going for that sweeping serve out wide there. But the wide serve and really the body serve, it is breezy. It has been all week, so they're very comfortable with the wind patterns. Rybakov also with the one-handed backhand. He gets great length off that side, but he's also able to throw in the slice. And he's going to have to get Borges out of rhythm. I'd like to see a lot of variety from the racket of Rybakov today, with some short angles and long lines, and try to get Borges uncomfortable.
So hard to do. I've compared Borges to kind of the college version of Djokovic. There's just not a lot of weaknesses you can pick on. You have to make him as uncomfortable as you can and hope he's a little off. Hope for that little bit of a let up like he had yesterday against Holt. Just wide.
This is where Borges is so effective in his return game. He gets his returns so deep. And he really likes to go deep down the middle of the court. He rushes these big guys with these serves that before they finish their service motion, the ball is right back on them. And they get caught off balance time and time again.
Game point Rybakov here to try to stay even. We play no ad scoring in men's college tennis, so if we get to deuce, it's a deciding point. It adds a little more extra pressure on the server. And that's exactly what happens here. Borges has rallied back to a deciding point, so in essence, it's break point Borges, game point Rybakov.
Well, again, you can see just the explosion off of that forehand wing from Borges, moving forward, and that ball rolling away to the backhand of Rybakov. It's not about hitting winners. It's really about hitting your targets, hitting that heavy topspin that penetrates through the court, particularly on the angles.
Borges comes back to get the break. Nuno Borges with the break to go up 2-love. We'll go from the excitement of this event to Grand Slam excitement from Roland Garros. It's almost here. A few more days. You can watch extensive live coverage of Roland Garros on Tennis Channel beginning at 5 a.m. Eastern. First show is this Sunday at 5 a.m. Eastern. If you're a Tennis Channel Plus subscriber, or if you want to be, you can watch action from up to 12 courts each day live and on demand. Again, Roland Garros, the French Open, starts this Sunday, 5 a.m. Eastern. Some good hitting. Rybakov would be the first TCU player to ever make the national championship match if he can upset the #2 seed. The last Horned Frog to make the semis was Cam Norrie back in 2016. Jubb and Kovacevic on serve, but Kovacevic has a break point here on the Jubb serve. Again, you get down 15-40 and no ad scoring. It's a big hole to climb out of. And Kovacevic gets the early break and leads 2-love. Jubb from Great Britain and Kovacevic, an American from New York.
That's what I call the 1-2 punch. Big serve from Borges, got the short reply in the middle of the court, and just finds the opening for the winner. So important to know where you anticipate the return to come back from your serve, so you can get in a proper position. But that one was an easy one. That ball appeared to be wide. On the Rybakov side, it wasn't called.
Borges in trouble now, 15-40 down. Borges has now won 30 matches in a row. 25 of those 30 have been in straight sets.
Fall!
Overplays that forehand. Still has an opportunity. Sam, there's something different in this match today, is that the players have linesmen.
Yeah, that's right.
Haven't had it throughout the tournament. It's only been a chair umpire. But they still don't have ball kids.
Yeah.
Still have to pick up their own balls.
Maybe we'll have those tomorrow. Had some ball kids when we got to the semis of the team competition. And Borges battles back its deciding point. Rybakov still with a chance to break here. It's the second game in a row that's featured a deciding point. Borges won the last one on the Rybakov serve to go up 2-love. And Borges misfires on the forehand. We're back on serve. Kovacevic has come out hot on court 3 in the other men's semifinal. Kovacevic had a good win yesterday. The number 7 seed taking it to the number 3 seed. We'll keep you updated on that. 1-2 here. We've just had 2 service breaks in a row. Rybakov and Borges.
Rybakov had a missed opportunity in that last game. It's important for him to stay focused, stay positive. Just wait for his opportunities. They will come. But not if he's not patient. If he starts to press too much, Borges will take advantage of that.
Borges is so solid off the ground, Katrina. I don't think Rybakov can continue toe-to-toe with him like this.
Yeah, he hits such a clean ball. You very seldom see him miss-hit the ball. The shot's right in the middle of his racket. You can see that racket head acceleration, and he's always exploding up through his shots, generating even more power.
A thin upper body, but a really big base, big muscular legs. Excellent on a clay court. Oh, good hands.
Sweet touch by Rybakov. See him, he moves forward, the lefty volley, gets the racket out in front, softens his hands. Nice touch.
Rybakov, a player that's grown up and trained here in the past as well, so he's very familiar with this facility. He's an excellent student. I mentioned that Borges was the SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year. Rybakov's the TCU Student Athlete of the Year. Big 12 Tennis Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Come on, Nuno.
Another mishit off the frame of Rybakov.
I have to say, holding serve it's been very tricky on both sides of the draw.
Yeah, I think it's the wind, I think, has played a big factor in the toss, the placement of the toss. The wind really grabs it. You see it's at full attention almost today. It is a crosswind, so the wind is blowing east to west towards the tent.
Well, both of these players said that heat doesn't bother them. You know, it's just, but it is the wind that they have to factor in. Rybakov called it out. The umpire said it was good.
And that's where the linesman on the line.
So that point is going to Borges, and Borges moves out in front. This was Rybakov called it out.
Well, he may have had a point there.
Yeah, I mean, from the replay, it did look out.
And it looked like it was way out. So I'm not really sure what the linesperson was looking at. Ball came back very quickly underneath his feet.
So he'll have to get over that. It's 3-1 Borges now. Both of these players are seniors. Borges is the ITA National Senior of the Year. That goes back to that last call.
It's important for Rybakov to stay focused, not be deterred by the line call. He's got more issues on his hand, and it's on the other side of the net. With a barrage of shots coming off the racket of Borges. To find a way to get Borges uncomfortable. This is very difficult. Borges gives him a free one there.
Couple of free points here by Borges. Yeah, Rybakov has the 15-30 lead. Again, holding serve has been tough. Borges has turned into such a big-time player for Matt Roberts. He's won 120 matches when he's been at Mississippi State. 81 of those have been against ranked opponents. And you play in the SEC. That is an unbelievably tough conference. In fact, we've got 2 SEC players playing in the semis today. And the other SEC player, Paul Jubb of South Carolina, he is still behind Kovacevic of Illinois. Again, our score will always be on the left-hand side of your screen. When we put in little updates, they'll be on the right-hand side.
I've just been so impressed with Borges all week long. His demeanor on court, his positive attitude, the way he moves around the court, goes about business.
He's struggling in this game. 2 double faults. Now Rybakov has a break point. He'll have a couple because of this deciding point format if he needs them.
When we have seen some hiccups in his game this week, it has been on the serve where he's throwing in the double faults. It appears to me on occasion that toss is just too low. Not sure if the wind is affecting it or not. Lets her in play. Oh.
Good hands by Borges. He was waiting on it.
Rybakov did good to get up to that left cord off the serve. Couldn't do enough with it, but right here, missed opportunity. Could not get his balance to put anything on that ball. And Borges, just so smooth.
Another big point here, deciding point. We've had 3 of the 5 games go to deciding point. So it's a chance for Rybakov to break, a chance for Borges to keep his 1-break lead. And It's Rybakov who breaks with a brilliant shot at Borges' feet.
That sweeping left-handed forehand and the emotion.
Kovacevic of Illinois is up 4-1, 30-15 against South Carolina Gamecock Paul Jubb. Jubb, the number 4 seed. Kovacevic, the number 7 seed, who took out Sam Riffice last night. And Riffice had match point in the second set. That was a heroic comeback from Kovacevic.
Kovacevic, such a great athlete around the court, plays incredible defensive tennis. But when he gets a chance to go on the offense, he's been incredible.
Kovacevic's parents originally were formidable paddle tennis players, or what we would call ping pong. I mean, to the point where they could make a living doing it back in their native Yugoslavia. Moved to the United States and took up tennis. He's grown up here. Actually went through Katrina's program up in New York for a little bit.
It's been a couple years at Harlem Junior Tennis and Education Program, but
what'd you call him, Little Alex?
Little Alex. I mean, I didn't recognize him. He literally was about 8 years old when he came to Harlem, but you know, he was one of those players that were so talented. He moved around. There's some great programs in the New York area. He worked with Gillot Bloom, worked at the USTA with Marvin Dent, ultimately at John McEnroe at his academy at Randall's Island.
Jubb with a chance to pick up the game here, and he does. So Kovacevic up 4-2 in the first set there, and now Borges working on another break. Well, this is the men's singles semifinals of the NCAA Division I tournament. I'm Sam Gore along with Katrina Adams. This is day 9 of 10 straight days of coverage here on Tennis Channel. We started with the team championships last week and were mesmerized by the Texas Longhorns winning their first men's title, the Stanford women winning their 20th in history. That's the most decorated college program, man or woman. And now we've been playing the individual championships, singles and doubles this week. We're focusing on the singles here today. We have the men's semis now. The women's semis will be after. This is the USTA National Campus, which is just off the runway of the Orlando International Airport in Lake Nona, Florida, in the Orlando area. Beautiful facility here that in an area that is just growing by the second, and not just pointless growing. And I've been so impressed with all the facilities that are being built and all the innovative things here in this part of Florida. Rybakov stays in front. Big point for Rybakov because we've seen so many break chances. Server falls behind.
Wow, Borges able to put some pressure on Rybakov, able to put some pressure on Borges.
So 3 games apiece. Borges, the number 1 seed. He made the doubles semifinals as well. In fact, Borges and Rybakov played against each other in doubles in the NCAA tournament this year. In the doubles first round, Borges playing with Strahinja Rakic and Rybakov playing with his teammate Gray. So these two have seen a lot of each other this year across singles and doubles.
Just so good off the racket of Borges. Corner to corner with such length. Rybakov just scrambling. You can see just how deep he is trying to catch up to that ball.
Over on court 3, Kovacevic up 5-2 against Jubb in that opening set.
Kovacevic coming from behind last night against Sam Riffice. I'm sure he's feeling pretty confident after that win.
That was a very physical match too.
Just put out a big laugh after that serve was called out in disbelief. You know, one of the things that I like about Borges' game is that he's not a net player, but he's solid enough that he understands that he needs to finish at the net against these top players. He gets them out of position so much that typically when he moves forward, it's an easy volley or an easy put away on a high lob, such as that last point.
He's such a smart player. And when he does get to the net, I like his hands.
Very crafty.
Game point Borges to stay in front. And Borges with a love hold. That is a rare commodity in this set. But Borges moves forward. He'll be looking to break in the men's semifinals. Semifinal day here at the USTA National Campus. Men's semis are up first. Women's semis will follow. Spot in the national championship on the line. We've been watching Borges against Rybakov, and we'll keep watching that match. But for a moment, we want to come down and see some of Kovacevic and Jubb. Jubb is serving now to stay in the set and now has just held. So Kovacevic will be serving at 5-3. Paul Jubb, a junior from the University of South Carolina. He's from Hull, England. He was not a blue chip recruit by any stretch of the imagination. Didn't play a lot of the big major international juniors, but when Coach Jaffe was overseas watching a big junior tournament, he had a friend that said, you need to come check this kid out. So he got on a train and went to the tiny place that Paul was training in and watched it and decided that he was definitely worth pursuing a relationship. And Coach Jaffe's ended up being almost a father figure to Paul Jubb. Very, very close, the two. His opponent, Kovacevic, parents came to the United States from Yugoslavia. He's been raised here in the United States from New York. Katrina earlier told us all about his upbringing in tennis and all the academies he's attended and coaching he's had access to.
Jubb coming through the men's draw without dropping a set. He's so light on his feet, so quick around the court. There's an explosive shot from the baseline, particularly on the forehand side. He's always looking to get inside the net, inside the baseline to get to the net.
Jubb trying to get the break back before he loses the set. I enjoy watching him play. I've gotten to see him play several times over the past couple of years. He's a dynamic type of player.
Jubb covering a lot of ground in that point. You saw him on the fence, having to track down the short ball, moving forward, forcing the error from Kovacevic.
Jubb's a good competitor. He's the National Rafael Osuna Sportsmanship Award winner. He's the Carolina Region Arthur Ashe Award winner. Jubb only the second Gamecock to reach the national semifinals. Update over on court 1, 4-all. Kovacevic 2 points away from the opening set. Wow.
Woo. We
Man.
felt the explosion of that forehand.
Felt it in my stomach.
Jubb just moving up and ripping this cross court for a winner. Jubb battling hard here.
He's got a chance to break with Kovacevic serving for the set. And Jubb laid that volley in there perfectly to get the break. So game on here on court 3. Jubb back in this first set. Similar score lines on both courts in these two men's singles semifinals here in the NCAA Division I championships. That's nice service from the coach on the right, Brad Dancer, escorting his player out with the umbrella.
Keeping him cool as long as he can.
You don't get that treatment on tour.
There's no coaching on tour. Not yet.
So Rybakov serving to stay in the set on court 1. He's just dropped the first point. Jubb serving to stay in the set on court 3. He's just dropped the first point.
Yeah, very tentative forehand off the racket of Jubb. Dumps it into the net in the middle of the court.
Jubb worked so hard to get back in that set. Borges 2 points away on court 1.
Jubb normally would have made the move forward after that forehand angle. Got the short reply. Was a half step late.
And now Kovacevic 2 points away on court 3. First set hanging in the balance on each court. That is big hitting, and Rybakov wins the duel, but he's down 15-30, and now Jubb is down 15-30.
These matches are going, they're neck and neck as far as the scoreline is concerned.
That's why we're showing you both. They're exactly at the same point. Hard to pick one of the two. Foot fault called on Jubb.
Unfortunately, we have the technology to have the 2-box to share with our viewers.
And Rybakov comes back with a big forehand to level the score on court 130 all. That's going to land in.
And so is that.
So 30 all on both courts, same score line.
Tough forehand shot from Jubb. Finding the winner off of that high bouncing ball from Kovacevic. Rybakov struggling to get some first serves in here.
Kovacevic has set point. Game point, Rybakov.
That was a big gamble from Rybakov running around that forehand. He left the court completely exposed, but hit a good enough forehand that Borges couldn't redirect the ball to the open court.
A deciding point, which is also a set point for Kovacevic on court 3. Big point here for Jubb. Rybakov trying to tie the score at 5 all on court 1. Five all on court 1. And Jubb misfires. Kovacevic takes the opening set. So Kovacevic on court 3, up a set on Jubb, back over to court 1 to see how this first set ends. It's 5 all. Borges about to serve. Rybakov was the top recruit in 2015 coming out of high school, and a lot of people, including himself, had thought he would bypass college and jump into the pros, but he decided to give college tennis a try, thinking he'd stay maybe 1 or 2 years. He's ended up staying 4 years. He's enjoyed it so much. Really clicked with Horned Frog coach David Roditi.
Coach Roditi has done a remarkable job with the program at TCU.
Rybakov's dad, a coach, runs a tennis academy down in Coral Springs. Borges trying to stay in front. He's on a 30-match win streak. He's forgotten how to lose.
Rybakov trained with USTA player development for a couple years before going to TCU. The collegiate pathway is very important for the USTA player development for their players. It's another pathway in getting to the pros where they can go to school, get stronger, become a better player, become a better person, and get an education before going to the big stage.
And Borges gets an applause from Rybakov. That forehand was so big. As he holds serve and moves to within a game again of claiming the first set. We finished 1 set in one of our semis, but this one's still going on. Back here at the USTA National Campus, we're in the landing pattern today. Planes flying overhead coming into Orlando International Airport. Has a little US Open feel for the third straight day as the winds have been the same. Rybakov serving to stay in this opening set against Borges. This has been such a competitive first set between the number 1 and 3 seeds.
Nice move from Rybakov. Great recognition of Borges on the move, was going to slice that forehand back, anticipating a floater, and that's exactly what he got.
College tennis, such a good prep for the tour now. You watch these matches play, and very rarely are the guys at the top of the college game ever out of position or hitting a shot that you really question. I mean, they're right on the verge of playing at the highest level. Everybody here has all the shots. Just refining those games and building those weapons. Borges will go back to Portugal and continue to play professionally over the summer as he finishes his Mississippi State career this weekend.
There are only a few students that are still in school that may be on trimesters or quarters. Forehand by Borges.
Barely saw that.
Yeah, he just rotated and whacked it down the line. I mean, it was so quick.
Paul Jubb opening the second set with a break of serve. It's an overused term, I think, but the term applies definitely in that last shot. Easy power.
Yeah.
And Rybakov comes right back. Rybakov manages his game so well. He's always aware of where he is in the match. You very rarely see him kind of zone out in a game. He's got a high tennis IQ. Of course, both of these young men I mentioned, tremendous scholar athletes, champions in the classroom. And you can see their intelligence in the way they play tennis.
Well, particularly on that shot, the way that Borges, as he was moving forward, took the pace off of this, or got it down. Racket head was up. See that? Actually, it floated on him. But he kept his head up, racket out in front.
Remember, no ad scoring. Borges wins this point. He's got a set point. Another blistering forehand from Borges, and he has set point.
Borges controlling this point with his forehand. Rybakov did a great job to catch up with the previous one, but that ball floated right into the middle of the court.
So deciding point, Borges is going to return this serve from the deuce court. It's a game point for Rybakov, a set point for Borges.
No ball kids here today, so Borges has to take a couple extra seconds to remain the ball.
Borges claims the opening set. It was a set of high-quality tennis, but a lot of service breaks. And Borges, the last to break, and the last man standing after the set. Well, this time next week, you'll be looking at scenes from Paris as Roland Garros begins this Sunday at 5 a.m. Again, Sunday, 5 a.m. Coverage of Roland Garros begins here on Tennis Channel. For Tennis Channel Plus subscribers, you have your choice of up to 12 courts of live and on-demand action. The big news today from the French Open, Nick Kyrgios pulling out of Roland Garros because of illness. So that's one of the storylines. Roger Federer downplaying his chances to win the French today. Everyone's still saying Rafa's the man to beat. So we'll find out beginning Sunday at 5 a.m. We're also going to find out who's the man to beat in the NCAA Division I Singles Championship tomorrow. Over on court one, we just saw Borges wrap up the opening set, but he's lost the first 2 points here, serving at the start of the second. Jubb and Kovacevic are on serve there in a sit down at 1-2 on court three. Kovacevic won the first set there.
Good example of Borges playing good defensive tennis. Scrambling, getting the ball back deep. Getting the error from Rybakov.
Jubb and Kovacevic just getting up off that changeover. And Borges with a rare ace.
Borges doesn't overpower you with his serve. He can hit some aces left and right, but he has great placement on his serve. Very effective. It's a good look there, serving out wide to the backhand of the lefty in Rybakov. But his serve is big enough to put him in position for a lot of 1-2 combinations. He exploded into that one. It's just long.
Whoa.
He'd like to have that ball back.
That's one of the few head scratchers you'll ever have when you're watching Borges play.
Well, I don't think it was as high as he thought it was going to be, and perhaps the wind just kind of held it down for him, but he just got caught in no man's land. Had a brain cramp.
Good thing he wasn't hitting it now. He'd be looking up at a 747.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one that just floated by.
Deciding point, so break point for Rybakov here. First game of the second set. Borges has now won 16 straight sets. He's on a 30-match win streak. Late call. Rybakov's going to argue it.
Yeah, it appeared to be long. It was called by the linesperson as well as the chair.
So Mississippi State coach Matt Roberts also coming in and having a word with the umpire as well. Coach Roberts is such a big influence on Nuno Borges. He's trying to make sure that Nuno stayed in the moment, did not have any mental lapses in this semifinal to stay intense. Jubb and Kovacevic are at 2-all in the second. Jubb opened the second set with a break, and Kovacevic has come back now to tie the score. Swing over there. Kovacevic, the Fighting Illini.
Missed opportunity for Jubb. Got the shot he wanted on top of the net. Kovacevic picking up the balls from deep in the court really well, but that one fell short.
Paul Jubb from Hull, England. Just keeps getting better and better now into his junior year. He was not a highly regarded recruit coming out of the juniors. He was a good find. He's turned into a real diamond in the rough for Coach Jaffe. He's an extremely hard worker and very gracious young man. That's why he wins all the sportsmanship awards. He's very thankful for the opportunity that he's been given to play college tennis.
It's such a great, solid game. He hasn't dropped a set here in the championships until today against Kovacevic. So he's met his match out here on the court. He's had a few loose shots in the match so far. Let's turn play. Big shot there from Jubb.
15-40. The highest ranked man on tour that played college tennis went to Illinois, none other than Kevin Anderson. Rajiv Ram, also an Illinois alma mater. It's his alma mater. But you know, Kevin Anderson never won the NCAA. So Amir Delic was the Fighting Illini that won the singles. Anderson did win the doubles. And again, Jubb drawing the error from Kovacevic, and it is Jubb back in front by a break. Can he hang on this time? We'll find out. Paul Jubb and Alex Kovacevic squaring off here. Jubb trying to force a third set. Borges and Rybakov at a game apiece over in the second. Women's semis will follow this. The top two seeds still alive in the women's draw. Beautiful. Oh, wow. He set that up brilliantly.
Jubb has great variety on that forehand as far as moving it around the court. Opens up the court with that short angle and then long line for the winner. He can drive it, he can roll it, he can slap it. Very effective on the forehand wing.
Come on.
It's a great effort. When you have a great point or finish with a great shot, it's so important if you're serving to get that first serve in on the very next point. Keep the pressure on your opponent. A beautiful ace out wide from Jubb.
Jubb and the Gamecocks, just like the Trojans, started their season down in Australia. Kevin Tiley, who used to be the head coach at Illinois. Some more Twilight Zone moments here. He now running the Australian Open and Tennis Australia, and the ITA brought down two American teams to the Australian Open this year. It was the USCs, South Carolina and Southern California. The men and women competed in a match. Got to do a lot of touring around Australia and experiencing that culture and showing the Australian fans what college tennis was all about in the United States. A lot of Aussies come to the U.S. for college. Jubb maintaining the break lead. His coach calls him a mental giant. Unbelievable fight and determination. That's how Josh Goffey describes Jubb when you ask him. He really approaches his training with a professional standard. He's always looking to improve. He's never satisfied, Coach Jaffe said. He's a joy to coach. Kovacevic moves ahead 30-love in this service game. Over on court one, we've got a deciding point at 1-all in the second. Borges is serving. Rybakov will take the return in the ad court.
What a shot from Rybakov.
Rybakov gets the break. Beautiful pass, little off speed. These guys have just been banging it, and that was nice, a changeup. So Rybakov up a break. So the players that lost the first sets are up a break in the second in both of our semis. It's a 2 out of 3 set match. The only difference in the scoring is that we play no ad scoring, but we play out these matches, tie breaks at the end of each set.
Coach Brad Dancer is a full service coach. You see him retrieving the balls, he's carrying the umbrella, and he's coaching. Good stuff. Kovacevic has such a smooth one-hander.
Brad Dancer's been a big mentor to Kovacevic as well. Said that probably the biggest change in him has just been, as you would imagine, his level of maturity, the way he approaches his, not just his tennis, but all aspects of his life. Just such worthwhile to be a coach, a worthwhile thing to see young men and young women grow into adulthood. So Coach Dancer's running out with the umbrella again. Man, we need to get him on the payroll next year, Katrina. How about for our stand-ups?
Love it.
Come on up to the booth, Coach. I mentioned that we're playing no ad scoring on court one on the left side of your screen. They've had 5 deciding points so far in that match. Rybakov has won 3 of them, Borges 2. Rybakov, the beneficiary of the last one, it gave him a break, and he's up 2-1 in the second set after dropping the first. Jubb still up a break in the second after losing the first. And Jubb's just seems to be getting better and better, Katrina.
Yeah, it seems to have found his groove out here on the court. And he's moving so effortlessly around the court, pinpointing his shots with precision, finding the corners, and finding the winners. Kovacevic has thrown in a few unforced errors in the mid stages of the second set. Much better attack from Kovacevic. A beautiful one-hander down the line, and was looking for that short reply from Jubb. Too often players will hit such a great shot in the corner and just stand there and wait for the ball to come back to them, but not in this case. These guys have been very assertive. Lester in play.
And Jubb steamrolls ahead 30-15. He has not dropped a set in the entire singles competition.
Well, you can see it's a beautiful looking forehand, great shoulder rotation, just explodes through the shot to his target. And a beautiful serve.
Jubb point away from a 5-3 lead. Borges has break point on court one. with Rybakov serving up 2-1. So this would get Borges back on serve if he can get the break. Still break point, deciding point, the 6th deciding point of the match. Jubb moves ahead 5-3. He's a game away from a 3rd set on court 3. He seeks to become the first Gamecock to make the national championship. Kovacevic would become the 3rd player from Illinois. Delic winning the title. And Borges breaks back for 2-all at court 1.
Delic, a very successful businessman on Wall Street now, and the only competition I find him playing is the Finance Cup. Plays for a team in New York. Bunch of high-powered financiers competing. Beautiful forehand from Kovacevic.
Kovacevic had a very physical match with Sam Riffice last night. Kovacevic lost the 1st set in a tiebreak and then came back to win the 2nd set in a tiebreak after facing match point. The final set was 6-3. Again, Jubb hasn't dropped a set. Jubb's won 4 straight set matches. It's the number 4 seed. Kovacevic would love an easy hold here. And he's got one. Kovacevic holds it love, but it is Jubb who has the advantage. The Gamecock will serve to force a final set. Nuno Borges, the number 1 seed, who also has not dropped a set at the tournament, trying to keep it that way. Serving at 40-15 against Rybakov. Paul Jubb has just come out. He's serving for the set over on court 3. These are the men's singles semifinals in the NCAA Division I championships.
Borges so animated and so loud. He's loving it.
He's from Portuguese, but when he screams, he sounds American. I mean, he's from Portugal. I say Portuguese.
Yeah, well, he's not screaming in Portuguese. He's screaming in English.
But he doesn't have the accent. You know, that's what's so funny to me. It's like a singer. You can't tell where they're from when they sing. And when he screams, it sounds very, very American. Jubb, the Brit, trying to serve out this set. He's just gotten better and better as this match has progressed.
Yeah, I think Kovacevic really came out on fire and probably surprised Jubb a little bit in the early stages of this match. Kovacevic is trying to keep Jubb on the move, but Jubb has gotten a lot more comfortable hitting on the run.
Jubb is just the 2nd Gamecock to ever reach the NCAA semifinals. With a win, he'd become their 1st player in program history to make the final. Guillaume Legat was the other semifinalist in 2001. And Jubb emphatically arrives at set point. The junior from Hull, England, point away from a final set.
Jubb has been very efficient in his service games after getting up this break in the 2nd set. Had an early break, lost it, but once he got it back, he's been on point.
So Paul Jubb has come from behind to force a final set. One set determines who goes to the NCAA singles championship. Jubb comes back and wins the second set, 6-4. The men's singles semifinals, starting our coverage of the NCAA singles championship. The women will be out next. This is a highly competitive, high-level semifinal between Borges and Rybakov. There's very little to separate these two. It's been a fun battle to watch transpire. Multiple deciding point games. Rybakov desperately trying to keep up with Borges here after Borges won the first set 15-30.
It's been highly competitive and highly energetic, and both players have been emotional. The emotions that we saw last week in the team competition, where the outbursts not only motivated themselves but motivated their teammates. But this week is all about them, and they're doing whatever it takes to keep them motivated, energized, and positive. It also sends a signal to their opponent that they're fired up.
That was a massive serve by Rybakov.
It was pretty big.
Wow.
I'm sure if there was an MPH gun out there, it was at least 130. You could just hear the sound come off the racket.
Going to hear the sound of a plane landing in this next serve. Missed it. And Borges with a chance to break here, a deciding point.
Well, I think you said that Rybakov was 3-2 on the winning side of the 5 deciding points thus far. Can Borges level it out here? Or Rybakov keep the edge? He's serving. He has the advantage. He's been serving extremely well.
Borges going to take this on the deuce side of the court. Gets to decide where he'll return from.
Yeah, he took that wide serve away from Rybakov.
And
Big
Borges
return.
has the break. So the #1 seed now has his destiny within his own control as he's up a set and a break. Can he hang on?
Borges, I mean, that was a pretty deep second serve from Rybakov, and Borges just put the ball back on the baseline quickly to Rybakov, forcing that error.
And Borges has won 30 straight matches, and within that he's won his last 17. This would be his last 17 sets if he wins this set and gets to the final.
Sam, you talk about the flight path and the planes going into Orlando International Airport. That's one of the advantages of being here in Lake Nona. It's about a 15-minute drive. The national campus has benefited from that by having so many tournaments. Juniors, adults, team tennis, seniors, being able to get off the plane and come straight here for their matches.
It's so easy to get to this facility from the airport. You think of the theme parks when you think of Orlando, and they're all the way across the city from the airport. But when you come here, it's just right on the doorstep. A lot of neighborhoods, in fact, in Lake Nona offer airport shuttle service for their residents.
Well, it's such a destination from the airport that it says USTA National Campus on many of the exit signs. So it's that important to the community, not only here in Lake Nona, but to the city of Orlando.
This event will be back here in 2 years. The teams have been overwhelmed by just the small things that have meant so much to them by being here at a tennis-only facility. Game point for Borges. And Borges is a game away from the final. a 3-time semifinalist, never a finalist. That might be about to change. Deciding point on the right-hand side of your screen. First game of the third set between Kovacevic and Jubb. And Jubb continues after the momentum of winning the set. He's just broken to open the third.
Yeah, Kovacevic kind of looked up and shrugged his shoulders after that. Not sure if that's a sign of what can I do or I don't have it anymore.
Borges has won 4 straight games and is a game away from his first appearance in the NCAA championship, the #1 seed. Borges has become the first man to reach 3 straight semifinals since Virginia's Somdev Devarman did it from 2006 to 2008. It's been a long time. Someone's had a college career as impressive as Borges. It would seem sad for him not to make the final after the numbers he's put up. I gotta say though, I love watching both of these guys hit a tennis ball. They're different, but they have beautiful games. Borges held it long enough, but just didn't execute, and now Rybakov has a chance to stay in the match. Rybakov's come up with some big serves in his last couple of service games, but he's fighting for his tennis life here. Rybakov's had such an outstanding career at TCU, a career that he wasn't sure he was going to have because he really came into college not sure if he'd stay. He was that good out of the juniors. But both of these young men have used it as a training ground for professional tennis and getting a degree.
That backhand floating long on Borges. He hasn't missed too many. He has such a flat backhand. Really lays that racket face back open. He's able to strike through it cleanly. Not enough spin on that last shot. But if he continues to serve like this, he won't have a need to have to hit too many backhands in this game.
And Borges getting more and more animated, more emotional, trying to stay pumped up here. Not have a let up. It's created an opening for Rybakov.
Yeah, Rybakov just kind of blocked this serve back. Not a lot of pace on it. Borges just not getting it underneath it enough. Tight forehand from Rybakov. He's been ripping that shot all day when moving to his left. His racket head kind of decelerated, and Borges is definitely pumped.
The #1 seed, 2 points away from the final.
Big forehand. I thought that serve was out, and so did Rybakov.
Did not get the call, and Borges Borges has match point. A chance to make the championship of the NCAA Division I tournament.
It's on his racket. Second serve.
And for the first time in his star-studded career, Nuno Borges will play for the title. Two longtime competitors, as the stellar career of Alex Rybakov comes to a close. A nice embrace there by Borges, recognizing that fact as one career ends and one continues.
What an accomplishment from the guy from Mississippi State University. It's Starkville, Mississippi, a town of about 25,000 people. How excited are they right now to know that they'll be playing for the national title, the men's singles?
A lot of happy Bulldogs today, especially that young man. Well, we have one finalist in the NCAA Division I singles tournament. On the men's side, it is the #1 seed Nuno Borges, who has now won 31 straight matches and will play for the national championship tomorrow against either Paul Jubb or Aleksandar Kovacevic. It is Jubb up a break here in the third.
Well, the wheels seem to have fallen off for Kovacevic. Jubb in control in this third set. He's looking like he's the fresher player. Kovacevic had a late match yesterday, a tough three-setter.
Yeah, he was down to match point.
Down a match point to the freshman Sam Riffis of the University of Florida. Came back in that tiebreak, won the second set, and then was in control in the third set.
Where Sam Riffis really announced his presence at this tournament. I'm looking forward to following his career the next 3 years. It's an outstanding junior class. These are two of them. Next year's NCAA Singles Championship is going to be a battle, as all these guys will be seniors. Saw Blumberg, he's part of that group.
Yeah, they'll definitely be looking to prove themselves in their senior year.
J.J. Wolf, a junior as well. The #2 seed who was taken out by Riffis.
Let's go. 20-15.
So a nice high kicking serve from Jubb. Just getting above the shoulder of Kovacevic on that backhand, unable to handle it. See if he goes wide here. It's been very effective to side with the wind. He changes it up down the middle.
So let's go down to Hannah now, who is with our most recent NCAA singles finalist.
Nuno, senior year, last tournament and your first trip to the finals. How does it feel to take it all the way home?
I can't really describe it. I mean, it's an amazing feeling of, you know, being able to reach this far, and I'm just very proud of myself and happy that I got this far.
How do you think you were able to stay on top of Alex's rhythm?
I already knew what was coming. Most of the players I played already, you know, either played them before or I knew them, so I try to, you know, take away his forehand a lot and stay on the baseline, keep pressure on him, keep the balls fast, and take his slice serves, which he's very good at, and, you know, it worked out pretty well.
Are you going to keep an eye on this next match to scout what you've got going on next?
A little bit. I'll try to check a little bit, but I also try to stay in the shade and not get, you know, maybe get out of here for a little bit and relax.
Well, there you go. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Coach Roberts has been pleading with Nuno and the rest of the players when they were here to continue to hydrate even when they felt like they weren't sweating. He said they've been doing IHOP every night, getting those carbs in and hydrating. Matt Roberts, the coach there.
A great feeling for Borges,
Matt Roberts,
the coach and the team.
Yeah, that program is a very inspiring program to be around. They really spend a lot of time on leadership training and teamwork.
Well, that's why I mentioned where it's located. Starkville, Mississippi. You wouldn't think that they would have such an established tennis program, but they have, both on the men and women's side, for many years.
Well, the athletic department there invests so much in all of their sports. Mississippi State's good in just about everything. And it was a very disappointing team competition for Mississippi State as they were one of the top seeds. They hosted a super regional and were upset by TCU. And the tweet that David Raditi, the coach at TCU, put out after that match was how well they were treated in the loss. So not only was there good sportsmanship from the Mississippi State Bulldogs in the loss, but the fans also really appreciated the Horned Frogs' effort. So that's saying a lot when another team thanks the team that they beat for their sportsmanship and hospitality, especially when you do it on their court.
Well, I think the Bulldogs and their mascot, Bully, will be extremely proud of Borges for how he's fought through this week after the team competition.
Kovacevic looking for a second wind here.
Jubb has just been so solid here in this final set.
Jubb, from appearances, looks to be the fresher of the two right now. Kovacevic's mother sitting right above him.
He's got on the Illinois shirt, sister with cap. His father's here is here as well, so it's a family affair this week for Kovacevic.
He might be walking the dog right now because they have their dog here with them. So Jubb is extending himself away from Kovacevic. We could have an all-SEC singles final. Paul Jubb lost the first set and has just kept getting stronger and stronger. Court 1, the #1 seed is Estela Perez Somariba, the University of Miami, in the all-ACC semifinal with Cameron Mora, the first Tar Heel freshman to ever make the national semifinals. They are warming up after Borges won the men's match. Paul Jubb getting closer and closer to facing Borges in the final tomorrow.
Big winner from Kovacevic there. Hasn't seen too many of those in recent games. A look at his mother again on the left.
It's Malanka. Jubb is hitting every line right now.
Well, he looks like the fresher of the two players. He's moving really well around the court. He's moving inside the court, putting more pressure on Kovacevic than in the reverse. Towards the end of the second set, you can just see the energy of Kovacevic just starting to lower. Saw Brad Dancer, the coach, constantly walking out or running out to get him shade quickly. The changeovers, he had the ice packs on his neck, around his shoulders, trying to keep him cool. Again, the first set that Jubb lost this week was the first one here against Kovacevic, so he is the fresher of the two.
Well, it's been an interesting dynamic here because Jubb has just continued to get stronger and stronger, whereas Kovacevic seems to be running out of gas.
Yeah, great combination for Jubb going into the open court.
That's long, and Jubb now 5-1 up.
South Carolina leads 5 games to 1. Final set.
As Kovacevic has had a fantastic NCAA tournament. Excellent win over Sam Riffis last night, but that may have just taken a little too much out of him. But I have really enjoyed watching Jubb play. It'll be interesting if he does hold on to see that match up with Borges. Brilliant shot makers.
Yeah, that's just an effort of trying to finish the points quickly. Almost a panic shot from Kovacevic.
This is the individual competition. Texas won the men's tournament last week. And the news came out today that Bruce Burke has now been officially named the head coach of the University of Texas. So congratulations to Coach Burke.
Yeah, congrats, Coach.
He
well deserved.
Becomes the 5th head coach in Texas history.
Well, he obviously did a phenomenal job at the end of the season here with the Longhorns. This Jubb is in control here in this match. Kovacevic trying to find a second, if not third win to pull himself through this or to get back in the match.
30-15.
Jubb dropping the first set he's lost at the tournament today. His coach Josh Goffey has been with him every step of the way and kept him pumped up to believe that he could come back and win this.
He's just been so aggressive on the return. Immediately got Kovacevic out of position. A beautiful return down the line, and then goes right behind him for the winner.
We don't have the official stats in this match, Katrina, but I would think the winner's total would be skyrocketing for Jubb over the course of the 3 sets, more and more each set.
Oh, absolutely.
He's been lethal.
He's been dialed in.
Kovacevic just trying to hang in there and hope for something good.
Yeah, it was a nice combination from Kovacevic. Was able to open up the court with that serve out wide.
So we will play on. Paul Jubb will have the task of serving out this match when we return.
Discover card?
Hi, do you have a travel card?
We do.
The Discover It Miles card. Earn unlimited 1.5 miles on every purchase.
Plus, we'll match your miles
At the end of your first year, You'll match my miles?
Yeah.
Mile for mile. And no blackout dates or annual fee.
Nice.
I was thinking about taking a scuba diving trip.
I love that.
Or maybe go surfing. Or not. Okay, maybe somewhere else. Maybe a petting zoo. Can't go wrong.
Can't get eaten.
Earn miles. We'll match them at the end of your first year. Plus, no annual fee or blackouts. The Discover It Miles card.
This is the couple who wanted to get away, who used Expedia to book the hotel that led to the ride, which took them to the place where they discovered that sometimes a little downtime can lift you right up. Flights, hotels, cars, activities, Expedia, everything you need to go.
Good crowd on hand today watching the semifinals as fans beginning their holiday weekend. A lot of planes landing today. People coming down for the weekend. Women's semis have started on court 1. Here on court 3, Paul Jubb trying to serve it out.
Jubb has just been so effective in his service games. High percentage of first serves in. I mean, really turned his performance around after dropping that opening set.
And Paul Jubb on the verge of making history. Never before has a South Carolina man made the national singles final. Until now. It'll be an all-SEC men's singles championship as Paul Jubb becomes the first Gamecock to advance to the final. And an outstanding effort by Kovacevic, who had the good win last night over Rifus. But Paul Jubb just kept getting better and better.
Yeah, I love the way he looked to his coach at the end and pointed to his mind to say, Coach, I played smart. I got it done.
He certainly did. A come from behind win. It was the first set Jubb had lost all week. But it is Paul Jubb and Nuno Borges. Mississippi State versus South Carolina for the national title. So the men's championship is set. Paul Jubb has just served his way into the final. Jubb and Borges for the title tomorrow. Women's semis when we return. Well, Hannah is downstairs getting ready to talk to our latest singles finalist, Paul Jubb. Hannah?
Paul, you came back so aggressively in the second set and then you kept it going. What changed with your game plan there?
I knew I started building momentum in the end of the first set. My coach was just saying, it doesn't matter if you run out of time in the first set, but you're moving in the right direction, and just tried to keep it going in the second set. And I started, seeing the ball a bit better and moving to the ball a bit better on my forehand. So things just started, going forward in my direction. So.
And yesterday you had a big battle as well. How did you use that as momentum coming into today's match?
Yeah, I already knew it was a tough match. I lost to him last year, so I had every motivation to go out and win that match, even though I was a 4th seed. So I was really happy with yesterday's performance. So I was just, using it as a good positive motivation into today.
And how do you feel about facing top seed Nuno tomorrow?
It's a great matchup. We played twice already this season, and we both pushed each other to the limits. So I'm gonna do my best, do what I can, and see how it goes.
Well, thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Sam, back to you.
Paul Jubb, the latest singles finalist, making history. And when we come back, we'll transition to the women's semis, the #1 seed on court.